On this episode of Bite Sized, we are watching and discussing the 61st scene of the movie Twilight. For those of you watching along at home, that's from 1:35:45 to 1:38:10. And now, on to the episode.
Go, Aksha, go.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to yet another episode of Bite Sized. If this is your first episode, here's what's going on. My name's Ben Abair. I am your host. I am watching the movie Twilight one scene every time with a variety of guests along the way. I take someone, I keep saying this, I don't take anyone. Everyone who's been on the show has been on the show willingly. I find someone to be on the show. Don't let them hear those shackles clink too much.
Clink, 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 clink.
I get someone on the show. I send them roughly 90 seconds of the movie Twilight, and we talk about it for about a half hour-ish. Joining me this week is a comedian that you can see in the show Swiped every Thursday night at The Annoyance here in Chicago, Illinois. And you've also heard her several times on this show. This is your third appearance?
This is my third appearance.
Yeah, welcome to...
I was the first guest on this show.
You were the inaugural guest.
And I'm
on this
so
show.
honored still to be the inaugural guest.
Technically four if we include a cameo on another episode.
Yes.
Sarah Murphy, welcome to Bite Sized.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
How's it going?
It's going so good.
Good, glad to hear it.
I got to watch Twilight.
Yeah. I'm going to start this interview the way I start every other interview, but you've been on the show several times, so we all know what your history with the Twilight franchise is.
Every single listener is like, yes, Ben, we know.
But just in case, if you could sum it up real quick.
I was # not like other girls in middle and high school.
Still not, arguably.
Yeah, very much. And I read the first Twilight book. I saw the movies, but I was very much a Harry Potter girl.
Yeah.
And was like, ugh, romance. This is so girly and stupid. And now I think the Twilight movies are so camp.
They are.
And so fun.
Yeah. They look new in the cold light of day that is adulthood.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, I could have been having so much fun if I just let myself enjoy this.
Yeah. But and also a little bit like this is what we were all going crazy for.
Like middle-aged women were going insane over this.
Like people's moms were on teams Edwards or Jacobs.
Were putting like bumper stickers about if they were Team Edward, Team Jacob.
What team was your mom on?
Oh, God.
She was on Edward or Jacob.
Which team was Eileen on? If I had to guess, I feel like she'd say Edward.
Yeah.
Eileen would answer if we called.
I'm tempted to have you call your mom and ask her if she's Team Edward or Team Jacob. Okay. All right.
I'll do it if you want.
All right, listeners, this is a first.
Right.
We're going to have a guest call into the show. And by that, I mean, we're going to have the show call into a guest.
Okay, hang on. Let me see if I FaceTime my mom.
I really hope this works.
She's normally really good about answering. Hello. Okay, so I'm recording a podcast right now with my friend Ben. And we had a question specifically for Mom, but I guess Dad, you can answer too. Do you consent to being on a podcast and having your voice recorded?
We'll see what the questions are.
Okay, they're very easy questions. It's just, do you remember the late 2000s craze that was Twilight?
Of course.
Okay, now Mom, this is the real question I called to ask you. Were you Team Edward or Team Jacob?
Team Edward.
Okay, that's what I
said.
Team Edward. I said you would be Team Edward. Dad, were you Team Edward or Team Jacob?
I don't think I was into Twilight, so I'm the wrong audience.
Dad never went to the Twilight movies.
Oh, Dad, you're missing out. Great. Well, any other thoughts on Twilight you want to share with the people?
No, thanks. I'm glad we all lived through it.
Thank you so much, Eileen. It's good to talk to you again.
Mom, I love you so much.
But yeah, people like Twilight.
People of all ages like Twilight.
People as diverse as you and your mom.
Yeah, people like me and people related to me.
Yeah, a big broad spectrum of Murphy women.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mother-daughter connection over Twilight, which is weird because the mother is largely absent from this story.
Yeah, this is really a mostly a romance and like father-daughter dynamic.
So it's not like this is a touching mother-daughter story that I can share with my daughter.
Like, I see myself in you, but
it
also...
It was just like...
There's things I hope you don't see yourself in this.
Right. It's just like, hey, daughter, I think... Or conversely, hey, mom, I think this vampire is cute, and you will find him cute, too.
You will have fun with Vampire Boy.
Yeah, weird. So let's talk about the scene
talk about Twilight.
that we watched today. Bella goes into the dance studio.
Yes.
And James just sort of beats her up for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the brief overview. And I will say, listeners, you may have noticed I haven't released an episode in a while because I've struggled to find a guest, because I would tell people who wanted to be on the show, I generally tell people where I'm at in the movie. And so for like the last few people I talked to before you, I would tell them, hey, just a heads up, if you are on this next episode, it's just Bella getting her arm broken for a couple minutes. And they'd be like, yeah, cool. Maybe not that one, but yes,
maybe
cool.
not that one. And I'm like, let's go.
I didn't even tell you about it. I
You
was just
didn't.
like...
But it's still, I saw the clip and I was like, okay, yes, I will take notes. I have thoughts.
Yeah, it was sort of, it's not like I was trying to hide that from you.
Oh, yeah.
It was mostly the confidence of I've known you for a long time and know you can roll.
Oh, yeah.
I know that there is less to talk about in this scene than there is in most scenes. And I need someone I can talk to for about 30 minutes. And if that ain't Sarah Murphy, I don't know who it is.
I love yapping.
And there's actually a lot. I realized upon watching this scene, it's not as bad as I remember.
No,
Because there is a lot that happens.
It's honestly mostly just like laughable until the end, where you're like, oh my god, this was a teen movie.
I thought it was going to be like 2 minutes. My recollection as I was splitting this movie up into little clips to send out to guests, my recollection of this clip was just, it's just her getting beat up for 2 minutes. But that's only like the last 30 seconds.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on before that is worth talking about. So
Yes.
let's get into it. Bella does go into the dance studio. She hears her mom's voice saying exactly what she said on the phone call earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Bella, where are you? Mom.
There you are.
What are you doing there?
Everyone makes fun of me.
You're a wonderful dancer.
And I guess she doesn't question that, whatever.
No.
Why would she? She's her adrenaline's rushing. That's
Listen,
fine.
she's just a mom, moms be saying stuff.
Moms be saying Bella exactly the same
Bella,
way,
Bella?
with the same intonation.
Yeah.
They're very consistent like that.
And that's a good quality in a mom, consistency.
Absolutely. You know that she's going to say your name the exact same way or answer the FaceTime call when you're on a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why Eileen, Mom of the Week.
She's today's bite-sized Mom of the Week.
Woo!
Oxford dropping the Mom of the Week song here.
Mom of the Week.
Thank you. Yeah, but she hears the voice, so she runs to the voice, which is some sort of closet or something. How did she get into this dance studio? Hey, wait a minute.
No,
I assume
she just opened the door.
I guess James would have left it unlocked.
Probably. Well, I mean, he wants her to go in.
Yeah. It's not like she's going in there before him or anything.
No,
So forget I
he's
ever asked
waiting.
that question.
Okay. Erase it. Strike it from the record.
No, leave it in. And people need to know.
The people need to know that sometimes doors are open.
Sometimes doors are open because James got in there before you.
Fun fact, I did look at I said I do notes. I read the chapter in the book because I was like, oh, what's the comparison here? In the book, they make a point that there's like a pink sign on the door written in Sharpie that says like they're out for spring break.
Okay.
So that's why nobody's there in the middle of the night, is because they're all out of town.
That was another question of mine.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, and you preemptively answered it. I love it when that happens. Where's the dance? It's presumably it's in the evening.
Yes, kids take dance
when
classes.
Dance studios, like that's when their classes happen after school.
No, per the book, they are on spring break.
Okay, didn't come up in the movie.
There was just a lot.
No,
going
it's hard
on.
to include that sort of things, but it does sort of make it look like this studio has been abandoned.
It also doesn't look to me like a dance studio.
It also doesn't, and I wonder if it's for the same reason. Why doesn't it look like a dance studio to you, Sarah?
Too many mirrors.
Too many goddamn mirrors.
Too many mirrors. Too tall.
Extent that when she turns around to see James for the first time, there's this like funhouse hall of mirrors effect where she sees like 4 Jameses, and if you try to do dance in that place, you're gonna run into a mirror.
I took a lot of dance as a child, and if I was already bad at it, imagine me in a place where there's multiple copies of me.
Right.
I'd be falling on my ass every minute.
I took a lot of dance classes in high school. I've been in dance studios as an adult for various reasons.
Yeah.
Pretty much every dance studio I've ever been in, mirrors on one wall.
Yeah,
That's it.
just one side.
This place has mirrors on every wall, and also like the pillars that support the roof. There are mirrors on those too.
To me, it's giving spoilers for Sunrise on the Reaping, the new Hunger Games book.
Okay.
They talk about the 49th Hunger Games. Was it 49th? One of the recent Hunger Games at the time of this one was the arena was all covered in mirrors.
Okay.
And like that was the whole bit of it, is that then kids just kept like falling off cliffs and shit because they thought they were going one way, but there were so many mirrors they would fall off. And the person who won that Hunger Games basically just hid until everybody else fucking died.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I feel like I would just break any mirror I came across, as so I know, that's just a wall.
So
there.
all that to say, the Hunger Games and this, it's like, hey, man, a lot of mirrors.
Hunger Games owes a lot to the first Twilight movie in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Really kicked off the whole YA fiction craze. I guess Harry Potter more did that, but we're going to take that away from them and give it to Twilight.
Exactly, as is deserved.
Yeah, no, she has enough already.
Anyway, all that to say, too many mirrors.
Too many mirrors. What's up with that?
Too many mirrors. I really imagine that they were just scouting locations and they just saw this had so many mirrors and were like, we'll make it work.
Yeah, does the book describe a room with a bunch of mirrors so she sees 1,000 Jameses?
No,
this was just Catherine Hardwicke.
It describes just like a regular ass dance studio. They describe that there's like carpet on the floor.
That's not good.
And that there's like plastic chairs. And I was like, I don't see a fucking plastic chair. Where are the parents sitting?
Plastic chairs is realistic.
Like the book made it seem like it was like a realistic, like this is where I danced as a child. Imagine a child dancing in there.
Yeah, no, that would suck.
I would be terrified.
Also, a lot of mirrors, no bars. The walls.
Okay.
Every dance studio I've ever been in, especially one that does ballet,
especially ballet,
you gotta have the bar.
You have to.
No bars.
Okay, this is a really advanced ballet class.
I guess.
Well, sometimes they bring out like little bars that you can put in like, the middle of the room, but no.
But there's also, I feel like there's always some like screwed into the wall. Not in this one because there's too many mirrors.
Not in this. Well, yeah, because all the budget went to mirrors.
Yeah, and you can't screw into the mirrors because they just shatter and you'd have 49 years of bad luck.
The poor set designer's like, please help me balance my budget.
Seriously. Oh my God. This must have been hell to film in because, like, if you read IMDb goofs, about 50% of them are like, you can see a cameraman in the reflective surface.
Oh, this must have been a nightmare.
So this must have been pretty bad for that and, like, for the lighting guys especially.
I bet if we like look really closely, I bet you could probably see like at least one guy in the background of something.
Maybe. It's also very dark.
Yeah, dark but also bright.
Yeah, in a weird way. I don't know. I'll check on IMDb.
Big full moon.
See what they had said about this. Bella goes into the closet and there is a TV there playing an old home movie of Bella. And weirdly, I'd forgotten this happens because I hadn't watched the movie this closely in a while, but she kind of confirms something that we've been saying in the last couple episodes in a way that makes me feel kind of bad because we've been saying for the last couple episodes, me and my last few guests have said that if Bella is the clumsiest person in the world, and she spent a lot of time at a ballet studio, she probably wasn't very good at ballet. She probably fell down a lot. And there's the home video, and this is young Bella crying about how the girls are bullying her. And she says she sucks at ballet. And I guess I'm one of those girls. I'm a mean girl now.
How's it feel to be a bully?
Kind of nice, kind of freeing. I think I'm going to make it part of my
nice to
personality.
bully a 9-year-old or however she is.
I feel bigger and better about my problems.
Wow, you heard it here first, folks. Bullying works.
Yeah. But yeah, like, where did the TV come from? How much time do you think James spent setting all that up?
That is the question I have because the thing he says is like, that's my favorite part. As if he's like watched a bunch of these and had to like sift through these to be like, okay, what's the most annoying video of you I can find?
He had to get a TV.
Mom, I suck.
You do not suck.
That's my favorite part. You're a stubborn child, weren't you?
You had to get a TV.
He had to get those red, yellow, and white cables to
plug it into a closet.
He had to find, I'm assuming, a VCR because the timestamp on this video is 1998, sometime in 1998.
Yeah. Oh, so it's definitely
so yeah,
on tape.
Not DVDs. Maybe the camera is plugged straight into the TV, but like he had. I'm assuming there was not a VCR in this dance studio. Maybe there was.
Honestly, kind of fun how much effort he put into finding this specific scene of Bella going, I suck.
Right. And like how, so like we see in the movie, he is in forks and he's running around Washington trying to find Bella. And then eventually he figures out somehow they're in Phoenix. So he goes to Phoenix. I'm assuming he goes to Bella's mom's house that's still there because she's a bad mom, as discussed in a previous episode. And so does he find the camera and then the idea comes for him? Or does he think, I got to fake a phone call, so I need a camera? What came first? The plan chicken or the camera egg?
I feel like the tape came first because that's how you fake the phone call. And then he saw the camera and was like, wait. Finally, I get to explore my love of cinema.
Right. Yeah.
Because he makes so many comments about like the filming of this.
Yes. Okay. Because eventually, Bella realizes that the voice is not actually her mom. It's this home video. And she turns around and James is there and he has a camera. Is it the same camera? Probably not. It looks like a little digital camera.
Yeah, a little camcorder.
From 2008.
She's not even here.
Sorry. No, but you really made it too easy. So, to make things more entertaining, I'm gonna make a little film of our time together. I borrowed this from your house. I hope you don't mind. Okay.
I got it from your house. Hope you don't mind.
Yeah, this was your favorite part.
It's because it's so absurd.
And I'm glad this is your favorite part because this is where I kind of stopped taking notes because I was like, and now it's just torture.
Oh,
so I'm glad you have a lot to say about this.
Oh my God, no, I'm having such a good laugh. Listen, Megan, my wife, and I have talked, we watch a lot of Criminal Minds, okay?
Yeah.
And we've talked about our strategy if ever we're in a Criminal Minds. What? Why are you deep breathing?
As a 30-something-year-old white man podcaster, it's really hard to hear the phrase "my wife" and not immediately make a Borat joke.
I give you permission.
No, I'm withholding.
Okay.
I'm better than that.
We watch a lot of Criminal Minds, and there's a lot of kidnapping of people, holding people prisoner. And Megan and I's strategy is to become ungovernable, just to be so fucking annoying that they have to let you go.
Yeah.
So he's trying to be all tough, and I'm sitting there fucking laughing like, look at this fucking dork.
Yeah.
I got this from your house.
Your plan is to pull the old ransom of Red Chief.
What?
Shout out to my American short story fans.
Yeah. What? Okay. And I'm a big fan.
Sure.
But for your cat,
you and I both love O. Henry, writer of the short story "The Gift of the Magi."
Yeah.
With the combs and the watch, and I sold my hair so I could buy you a watch chain. Cool. He wrote a lot of other short stories.
Oh.
I'm 100% certain this is all going to get edited out.
I don't care. I'm learning.
He wrote another short story that I read for some reason several times as a kid called "The Ransom of Red Chief," which is almost exactly what you're describing. These two criminals roll into town. They kidnap the son of a rich man. And this kid who's like 7 or 8 years old is just a complete mess and just an absolute asshole to them. And so they attended to ransom him and tell this rich man, give us money and we'll give us back your son. And it doesn't work because the kid is just fucking awful and they give back the kid.
Oh my God.
So that's what your plan is to do.
Yes, I want to be that child. I want to be ungovernable.
Listener, if you've read the short story Ransom of Red Chief and knew what I was talking about, write in so we can be friends.
I mean, the other thing is my fucking mouth gets me in trouble.
Sure.
I'm just, maybe it's the improv in me. I'm just very quick to respond and I don't always filter myself. I thankfully did not get in trouble. The other week, Megan and I were walking down the street and we passed by somebody who had a MAGA hat on their dashboard.
Oh, yeah.
And instinctively, I just yelled out loud, ugh, gross. And this person from behind us walked up to the car and opened the trunk and looked at both of us and was like, what, you don't like my hat? And I just was like, fuck no. And Megan's like, thank God that was like a small woman. Sarah, if that was a very large man, we would have been in a lot of trouble. I'm like, I know, I can't stop it. I just have to yell.
No, I know what you mean.
The beast in me must come out.
I've gotten more and more like that over my years of living in Chicago because I'm maybe the most afraid of confrontation person you've ever met. But living in Chicago, I don't have a car, so I have to walk a lot of places, and I almost get hit by a car about once a month.
No.
And the more it happens, the more I start yelling at the person that almost hits me because I want them to remember that they did a bad thing, and I hope that they feel bad about the bad thing. And it always surprises me when I do it because I am terrified of doing that, but I do it and it feels good for a little bit.
We're saying things before our brain is like, hey, maybe this is not the smartest thing to do, but it is the funniest
You're
thing
in a car right now that I'm standing in front of. if this is going to end poorly for one of us, it will be me.
It's not you.
But I still need you to know I don't like what you did with that
so
crosswalk.
all that to say, James is putting out this big tough guy act.
He
and
is,
I did start laughing.
Yeah, he's
like,
really getting...
Oh, you're scary.
He's really getting flowery with his language. He's relishing this because he's recording the whole thing. But just to quickly sum up the end of this scene.
And action. Oh, that'll break Edward's little heart.
Edward has nothing to do with this.
It does. Oh, his rage will make for more interesting sport than his feeble attempt to protect you. And let's continue.
Bella tries to pepper spray him. It doesn't work like we all knew it wouldn't. And then he just sort of throws her around and beats her up for about 40-ish seconds and has a camera the whole time.
Beautiful. Very visually dynamic. I chose my stage well.
The camera stuff made me laugh because, again, I do my research.
Sure.
I was like, who is this man?
Sure.
None of my scenes other scenes that I've done have involved him. So I was like, I don't remember anything about this man. My man James was born in the American Revolutionary War. Okay. So my man is old as shit.
Yeah.
And it tickles me in my head that as an immortal vampire, like, cinematography and filming is the thing he's really latched on to of like, this is why I'm living forever so that I can get into filming.
No, you're absolutely correct. I'm 32 and have already decided there are some things I'll just never understand. Yeah. And I've decided to let society just sort of pass me by. But not James.
No, James is on the cutting edge of technology.
He's keeping himself young.
I mean, I giggled because he says like, all right, we're going to shoot a little thing and action, no direction. Not a single direction about what is this scene about, what's your motivation, just an action.
Just go.
And And Bella's just like standing there like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, come on, sir. Listen, I understand you're very enthusiastic about a camera, but like you've got to direct the subject.
Right. You know, he does direct her by throwing her around and breaking her arm.
He's a really hands-on director.
He is.
Also, is that her arm?
I thought, no, it's her leg.
I was about to say, I thought it was her fucking shin.
Yes, it is, because later on in the movie, she's got like the boot at prom. Yeah. No, you're correct.
No, hey, I did my research.
You did do your research, and
AKA,
I appreciate that about you.
I rewatched this scene like 10 times, just being like, what is going on here?
I don't know why I assumed it was her arm.
Well, because that just makes more sense.
Yeah.
Breaking an arm than just like fucking bear crushing a shin.
It's very rude, yeah.
We talked right before the podcast started that both of us have seen every Saw movie or like nearly every Saw movie.
Yeah, we were talking about the Saw movies, and it reminded us of this a lot.
Yeah.
Kristen Stewart gives a really good scream.
She does an incredible
She could have been a cream cream if she wanted to.
Yep. Whatever. Yep.
I said, yep.
You said what you said.
Yeah. Cream corn.
Cream
it was
corn
a
queen.
It was a good cream. Anyway, you were saying?
I was saying, I think you just don't expect like that level of violence in like a PG-13
You really don't.
movie.
In like, if I may be reductive for a moment here, a sort of 14-year-old girls movie.
Yes.
Right.
Like this is a romance of, will they, won't they? It's not, you don't expect
Do you remember
violence.
Right. Do you remember watching this movie for the first time and being like jarred by that? Or is this just sort of a consequence of we're watching this scene in isolation?
I think it's because we're watching it in isolation.
And if you watch the whole movie, it's just like gone so fast. And the next scene starts with like some action.
Yeah, I think because it happens so fast. And in a movie where then other, people are throwing vampires around, they're doing baseball. It's just very sudden.
Yes, it is.
It's just, okay, like, yeah, you throw her around, you're weird with the camera, you're like, okay,
there's
whatever.
a very realistic bone cracking sound.
That's the thing. I think it just sounds so realistic, and her scream is so realistic.
So good.
Tell Edward how much it hurts. Tell him to avenge him. Tell him.
What are you doing?
Tell him. Tell him.
Then you get to end on the great tell him.
Yeah.
Of James just screaming and shaking his little head like a fucking dog.
What is his intent? Is he gonna like make a DVD to send it to the Cullens?
He says that this is for Edward.
Right.
Because he wants to film Bella.
Yeah.
So then he can just say, haha, look what I did. I'm the meanest vampire.
Yeah.
And then he want to send it to Edward. So then Edward go, that's the meanest vampire.
Yeah.
So that then Edward chases him, but then he could chase Edward.
I guess.
This just seems like a lot of steps for like, just kiss. I don't know.
Is that what this is?
Like maybe. No.
This is an elaborate
This is an elaborate
courting
ruse.
ritual.
It's just so many steps.
Yeah.
Like if you want Edward, just get to Edward.
Yeah. And
But he's a
that
hunter.
really describes James's whole approach this entire scene. Everything he did in terms of, I assume, Googling the address of this or finding it on a magnet for this dance studio and setting up the TV. It's just all... It's a lot.
I mean, he flies through the air at one point.
Yeah.
Aren't vampires in this movie just like fast? Don't they like run fast?
So they can jump too.
Well, anybody can jump.
But you
But
can
not like
jump
that.
like they can?
No, I'm just saying, like, yes, visually it's very interesting that he jumps, but
Yes.
it's so fucking extra
Yeah, it is.
to be like, whoa.
Yeah. Everything he does in this scene is so extra, as you say.
Good for... I mean, he beat up a woman, so I can't say good for him.
But as I said, it does make me like him a little bit more.
The effort's kind of fun.
He storyboarded this.
He's a villain.
He had a plan.
Yeah.
He saw it through.
He has a point of view.
You
He
have
loves
to admire that.
He loves cameras and he
wants
loves
to be
Edward.
a director.
He's directing
If only he
Bella's life.
focused his energies on filmmaking and
Yeah.
and not girl hurting.
Not girl hurting.
Or not Bella eating.
In Arizona.
He actually may be able to do something with himself.
Yeah, well, now he can't do anything anymore, but I don't want to get too many scenes ahead.
Well, we'll get there in a minute.
Yeah.
And by a minute, I mean like
a
almost
few
literally,
weeks.
because I'm pretty sure that's the next episode. Let's start to wrap this thing up. If you had to give the scene a name, what would it be? And you really knew this was coming.
I did. Yeah, God, fuck. I knew this was coming.
So
I knew this
let's
was coming.
hear it, Murph.
I mean, I did write in my notes my favorite quote from this scene, but it's going to be too long for a title.
Well, that's for me to determine.
Well,
actually, it's not.
Well, I didn't even get to mention to you my favorite.
Oh, go for that then.
My favorite quote from this whole thing, because again, our man is extra.
He really is.
He's so extra. But he says, this is all one sentence.
Oh yeah.
All his rage will make for more interesting sport than his feeble attempt to protect you. What the fuck does that mean?
He worked on that one for a long time.
How long did he workshop that?
The whole time he was waiting for Bella to take the taxi
He's
from
looking
the
in
hotel.
the 4 mirrors.
He's thinking about what he's going to say to her, and that's what he came up with.
It sounds like he's trying to be Shakespeare. Like
he's an edgelord, is what he is.
Oh my God, he's an incel.
Yeah, no, basically that's it.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no, I called an incel camp.
Well, that's the thing. He's complicated. He can be both.
Oh, he's not like other boys.
He's really not. But if you had to give this,
okay, I know I have it.
Okay.
It's lights, a camera, breaking bones.
camera, Breakin' Bones. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you for that.
You're so welcome.
Sarah Murphy, if people like what you do and maybe want to see you, if people listen to the show,
Do they like me?
if they like, I bet a lot of my listeners
But what if
right
they-
now are listening to this and thinking, boy, I like that Sarah Murphy,
Oh, thank
bet she
God.
would be real. She probably knows a lot about heists.
I do.
So if there is someone maybe thinking something like that,
Very
is there
specific.
any way those two thoughts could become one?
Yes, you can see me in Swiped at the Annoyance Theater here in Chicago. Swiped improvised thievery. We do
Really?
an improvised heist.
Okay, there you go. When is that?
Thursdays at
time?
9:30 at the
theater or
Annoyance.
little theater?
Big theater.
Ooh, the good one.
We're in the big theater. Last week we stole Sue the dinosaur's bones from the Field Museum.
Oh, hell yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You better give them back.
No.
Oh,
They
okay.
had bonds in them.
If you want to follow the show on social media, you can do so at bitesizedpod_ on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, where I post clips of the show, stuff like that. You can follow the show on Tumblr at bitesizedpod, no underscore there. I just decided to do it different this time. If you want to reach out to the show and talk to me in any way, you can leave a comment there, send a message, or send an email to myfavorititwilightpodcast@gmail.com, like listener Mary did. Kid, who asks, I'm crazy curious, are you referring to Dickinson? This is in reference to something I just sort of mentioned in the last episode 60. I'm crazy curious, are you referring to Dickinson Bayou in Galveston County, Texas? If so, then I am very familiar. I was picking up a friend in Dickinson while listening to that episode today. Keep Fun Pod BTW, keep up the good work. Mary, yes, I was, because that is where I lived from the ages of like 5 to 13.
Oh my God.
I lived in that area of Texas for most of my life until I moved to Chicago. But yes, I was referring to that specific Dickinson Bayou and did not know that as I was saying that, someone in Dickinson would hear it, because I just don't keep up with Dickinson
That's
these
just
days.
how good the
But apparently
pod
they have
is.
podcasts there now.
Oh my God.
Which is good for them. They're really coming up, Dickinson.
They just got podcasts
That's
the other week.
I don't want to, at the risk of alienating
Hey,
Marianne
listen,
Dickinson.
Marianne, you're so great. I've never lived there. I've never been. I don't think I've ever been to a bayou before.
I've spent a lot of time in and around Dickinson Bayou. When I lived in Dickinson, there was not a lot there. And now sometimes when I'm back in Houston, I go through that area and I'm one of those guys who's like, oh, that wasn't there when I lived here.
And now there's a Twilight podcast there.
So you can apparently, that's so cool for them.
Yeah.
Also, I forgot to mention, if you want to see this show live and in person, July 6th at the Newport Theater, we're doing our very first live show.
Yes, we are.
/ new movie kickoff. That will be a live recording of Twilight New Moon episode 1 with special guest Sarah Murphy. I'll be there. My editor will be there. We'll do probably some sort of comedy related thing that won't get recorded. So if you want to see it, you got to be there beforehand. Then we'll do a recording of the show so you can see how the whole process gets made and just how little gets edited out of this show.
You can see how tall I am.
You can see how tall Sarah Murphy is.
You have no idea while listening to this that I'm 6'1". I know you're thinking to yourself, that's absurd. A woman 6'1", but she's on a podcast.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Listener, if you had to guess which one of these podcast hosts was 6'1" and which one was 5'7", you would have guessed wrong.
You would have guessed wrong.
Even though you had 2 options. Yeah.
50-50 shot, and you lost it.
Yeah, if you want to see 2 people who look about as different in terms of body size and shape as 2 people can look, come on out to the Newport Theater and see us talk about Twilight and other things. I may talk about Billy Ray Cyrus. I haven't decided yet.
Oh, I can't wait. I know your Billy Ray Cyrus
You do.
stuff, and I can't wait
We'll
to
talk
hear
about
it again.
this. We have a lot to talk about after the recording, but all that is coming up. We're getting close to the end of the movie Twilight. On the podcast, and I sort of decided when I started this that I was going to get through one movie, just committed to doing Twilight, and then figure out what to do with all the movies that came after. And I've for sure decided I'm going to keep going, and I have a lot of cool, fun ideas about what's going to happen. I want to use this sort of New Moon live show and also episode of New Moon first episode to really usher in sort of a new era for the show. So I'm excited about a lot of big stuff that's going to be happening coming up here soon in July, which is also like the anniversary of the podcast. So it all works out kind of nice. Anyway, all that information and more might be available at twilightpodcast.com at some point, a website that I have not updated recently. Thank you to my editor, Ben Oxford, for putting this show together and trying to figure out what the hell the Mom of the Week theme is, because I'm not going to tell you anything about it.
Oxford.
Thank you to the band's Swimwear department for letting me use their song Mauled to Death as our theme. Thank you to O. Henry for writing the short story Ransom of Red Chief. That is it. That is all we have for today's episode. As we always say at the end of every episode, I'm Bella. I'm Bella. See you next time.
Mom of the Week.
That better be a fucking recurring segment now. Spent like 20 minutes on that. 4-part harmony. Shit. I don't think I did it right, but I tried my best and that's all that matters.